What's up, folks? I'm on, by the way. The Pokerus has infected me again since the Gen 10 news. I'm excited. I'm happy, honestly, that it is coming next year, not this year. As long as it can be honestly, worked on, I'm chill with it because I'm done with underdone Pokemon games at this point, and I want to have hope for this series. Okay, I am at heart that person that is willing to make excuses for Pokemon. Okay, and I'm constantly burned, and I just feel like the previous ones had so much missing potential. Like it's there, but I feel like a mad person talking about it. And honestly, I have been a water type starter bitch my whole life, but Pombon is really making me reconsider my core values. It's puppy. You know what? It's a fire puppy. Do you know how huge my puppy bias is in Pokemon? I would have a team of all dogs, and I probably could. But I will probably still use Gekwa, at least in my first playthrough. You can get all three starters at some point anyway, I'm sure, so it's fine. But it's just one of those things. Regardless, I had, for whatever reason, been pointed back to SCP. Probably from, I think it was from a post that I reblogged that was talking about, like, what if we put all the world's evil in one dog? And my brain went, SCP-023. Like, there was a period of time that I was trying to read through all of the SCPs, and now given there are a lot of them, and we will be working with, I think in this episode, series 1, there are 10 now, apparently. And if you don't know somehow about SCP, which is possible, stuff that I didn't know for a good long while, SCP is effectively like a mass creative writing project, almost like a group creative writing project. The only thing that I could possibly directly compare it to is like a very curated creepypasta, kind of akin to like how people world build about the back rooms. But this is before that, obviously. This is a whole forum, a whole wiki that exists for this foundation, that is a place that collects anomalous objects. Also, think of it like Warehouse 13, if you've seen that show. They collect not just anomalous objects, but anomalous entities. So it could be anything from a living creature or a person to a thing or a place, nouns basically, that are weird. And the entries can range from terrifying to silly and absurd or sad, even. A lot of the storytelling and stuff like that for this series is fascinating, mainly because there's just so many passionate people, I think, contributing to it. And there are joke SCPs and other things like that, but there are well over 10,000 of them, given that the first series here is up to 999. If they're all like that, then obviously then you're looking at 10,000 plus entries. And similar to Pokemon, it is a series about collecting and studying these things. So the two feel like they would go together very well. I figured instead of doing my usual picking out like three separate things, usually by random number generator, which I will be doing here, I will just be doing the one and trying to do a standard 3-step evolution line. And I think that that will be my contribution, because I wanted to do something with SCP, but I felt like just doing that on its own, like, the stories in themselves exist, people know them, people are big fans of specific ones. I think that it's very much like Pokemon in that regard as well. Something is everyone's favorite. At that, I think that I am just going to randomly generate a number. I might be picky about what I use at the end of the day, but I do have random.org pulled up, I have the SCP Foundation wiki pulled up. And I'm going to generate between 2 and 99 for this one, just because 1 is nothing. It's not. It's awaiting declassification, as they say, blocked. So there's not a direct explanation of what it is, and that's part of the bit, right? Nobody gets to be number 1, and it adds to the mystery of it all, right? And there have been people that have referenced to it and like decreed that it's something like angelic or something evil or something wild and cosmically incomprehensible. And I think that that's super fun. But so I think that I will be starting from 2 and going to 99. So I have put up just 2 to 99 for my minimum to maximum. Again, we are just working with series 1 because there are 10,000. And thankfully with this one, they're all on one page, so I can probably just control F if I felt like it. Or control I. One of the two. So let's just get in and generate and see what entry we will get. 29. I could probably find that myself. There we go. 29. NA. Uh-oh. The following page has been created as a staff placeholder as part of an ongoing Brightworks project and the selected proposal? I may have just stumbled onto a minor controversy inside the SCP wiki. It looks like whoever maybe wrote this, yeah, like somebody who wrote this probably wrote something offensive or was like revealed to be a shitty person. This seems to be the case. Well, oops. That is not necessarily my bad. That is just the random number generator pulling something that seems to be a form of incidental controversy that I know nothing about. I'm sure that this has been a discussion for a long time, but I don't go here very often, so we will re-roll. I just had to see what that was about. Okay. 30. Literally the next number. Okay. The homunculus. That works. Okay, let's see what this entry is. SCP-030. Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-30 is to be held at Site-17 within a modified humanoid containment cell. Minor adaptations to accommodate its stature, such as an appropriately scaled workspace and chair, are to be included. Lighting within the cell may be altered upon request of SCP-30 to a maximum of 2,000 lumens via a simple dimmer switch. Should the need to render SCP-30 inert arise, staff may extinguish the lighting from the exterior switch and draw blackout curtains as necessary. Standard night vision equipment is available for observation of SCP-30 in its inert state. SCP-30 may request materials for personal research every 90 days. All previously requested materials are to be collected and destroyed prior to delivery of new materials. All materials are to be evaluated and screened by both research and security staff. SCP-30 is to be denied access to any modern scientific journals or texts, and fiction is to be restricted to works produced no later than 1623 CE to preserve the integrity of its innate knowledge. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-30 in writing are to place a formal request document, 030 RSB, with the supervising researcher on duty. All correspondence is to be retained. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-30 in person are to submit a formal request to Site Management, Document 30 RPA 1703A, at least 30 days prior to their preferred consultation date. All consultations are to be recorded and retained. Senior research staff may request SCP-30 be temporarily removed from its containment for a maximum of 1 hour to provide observational insight into non-restricted materials or events within Site-17. Under no circumstances is SCP-30 to leave the confines of Site-17. Requests must be presented in person to Site Management and security staff at least 30 days prior to their preferred observational release date. All observational release dates are to be recorded and retained. SCP-30 has been equipped with a tracking device, Inventory Control Code 030-17-1, so its location within Site-17 may be determined precisely at any time. Description: SCP-30 appears as a hairless, genderless, gray-toned human, 71 centimeters, 28 inches in height, 28, or like 2 feet tall, in height, and weighing 12.70 kilograms, 2 British stone in antiquated measures. Its solid blue eyes lack discernible irises or pupils and resemble small cut sapphires. Am I just making another version of Sableye? SCP-30 possesses an androgynous voice with a pronounced English accent not currently identifiable as specific to any modern region. It is able to converse, read, and write in ancient Greek, Latin, Italian, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, as well as 2 additional languages that have not yet been identified, despite SCP-30's insistence that they should be common knowledge. SCP-30 has also demonstrated knowledge in physics, chemistry, astronomy, mathematics, and horticulture, roughly equivalent to that of a 17th century CE academic. In addition, SCP-30 has demonstrated knowledge on these topics along research lines that do not appear in the historical record. These alternative or entirely unknown approaches to research in the natural sciences are one source of SCP-30's utility in consultation. SCP-30 remains active while a 15 lumen source of light or greater is within 1.5 meters or 5 feet. In the absence of light, SCP-30 becomes inert, apparently losing consciousness and showing no outward signs of life. Within 5 to 10 seconds of being re-exposed to light, SCP-30 becomes active once more, appearing to come out of a light slumber no matter how long the period of activity has been. SCP-30 does not appear to require these periods of inactivity as a human would require sleep, and has expressed a desire to remain active as often as possible. Biopsy analysis of SCP-30 remains inconclusive. While clays native to the English counties of Kent, Surrey, and Greater London make up the majority of its structure, traces of mandrake, Mandragora officinarium, lime, mercury, and human blood have been found in each sample taken. SCP-30 has expressed that a full exploratory surgery to determine its workings would potentially end its existence. Samples removed from SCP-30 do not regenerate, and sampling is currently discontinued to preserve its integrity. Although SCP-30 can be damaged, it does not appear to feel pain, and will simply remold any portion of its anatomy that experiences deformation. Notably, SCP-30 cannot be molded directly by human hands, though any number of tools can be used to alter its service. SCP-30 does not respirate, requires no sustenance, produces no waste, although it does infrequently request a bath. SCP-30 refers to itself as Ariel and regularly requests that the staff do the same. Questions regarding how SCP-30 was created and by whom are routinely answered by the seemingly rote statement, "I have been asked to forget that bit of information. Terribly sorry." SCP-30 delivers this response in the same tone and cadence each time any question regarding its origins or creator are presented. Given its composition and location of origin, a link to the alchemists of Algada is suspected. SCP was discovered 6/12 during a mandatory archaeological survey of London's Mortlake district. Why is this different? Why are you fuzzy? Pending construction of a car park. It was buried approximately 2.7 meters, 9 feet below the street level, contained in a small stone sarcophagus. The sarcophagus bore no markings and was assumed to be that of a deceased infant, as additional graves were discovered in the survey area. The sarcophagus lid was shattered during the excavation, exposing SCP-30 to daylight. Upon being struck by the sun's rays, SCP roused from its inert state to one of mild activity within a few seconds, stating, "Good afternoon," to the assembled construction team. A member of the Foundation's Greater London Recon Force was summoned within hours and took the specimen into custody without resistance. The limited number of witnesses were given amnestics and released. Okay, so it's a little guy or little person named Ariel that is, okay, so about 2 feet tall, but is 2 stone. How much? That feels like a lot for a little guy. 12.7 kilo in pounds. Not really. Okay. So it's about 30 pounds. That makes sense for something that's about 2 feet tall. So yeah, it's about 2 feet tall. It's gray. It's made out of clay, so it's kind of like a golem. They say it's a homunculus, and its eyes resemble sapphires. It really kind of reminds me of Sableye in that regard, but interesting. And it almost feels like it could have a dual state, kind of like Darmanitan, where it's inert. It's basically like a statue, and where it's awake, it's almost like a guy. So I feel weird making it into something more akin to a Pokemon, but it's not the first time that we've had something based off of something that is supposed to have some degree of sentience. I feel like it would do well as a psychic type. That makes sense to me. So I will take a screenshot of that and get to work on this little guy. It sounds delightful. and I will show y'all what I came up with when we get to speed paint voiceover. So I will see you there.
So even though my initial idea was to create a 3-step line, I decided instead to go more of a Darmanitan approach with a 2-step line and an alternate form for the final evolution. The kind of through line I decided on for development was based on the clay form of SCP-30. So the first step resembles wet or unmolded clay, the second step is more like leather hard or dried clay, and the inert form is like a fired ceramic. I also added some gold accents for a little bit more interest and to kind of evoke a kintsugi idea. I don't know if Ariel could add more to themselves, but the idea of being able to repair and reshape itself made me think of potentially adding gold to fill in any cracks. Each form has more gold added, with the inert form obviously having the most. I made the first step kind of asymmetrical and wonky to emphasize the whole wet clay idea. I felt like it made sense to make this line a psychic type, so I also made the addition of a third eye looking gem that grows between the evolutions, and the inert form both appears as kind of like a sarcophagus and as if it's meditate. I think the whole line are ground and psychic types. I named the first stage Clariel, clay fused with SCP-30's preferred name, and the second and final stage Homunclay for the homunculus nickname SCP-30 has. I also added shiny variants, as I like to do. In this case, the sapphire eyes stay mostly the same, they feel like an important aspect of the design, but they're darker, and the kintsugi lines are also blue on a sort of terracotta clay color instead of the gray, and the darker gold on Homunclay's face is replaced with silver. Clariel is classified as the living clay Pokemon. They live mostly solitary and are highly intelligent, exhibiting minor psychic ability. Though not very confrontational, they will defend themselves and of course fight alongside trainers. Each time they battle, they replace lost clay from their bodies with gold. It is believed that these Pokemon were either early attempts at man-made Pokemon or perhaps even possessed clay effigies left too long unfired. Homunclay is classified as the homunculus Pokemon. After many battles, its clay-like skin has partially solidified and it has replaced even more of its body with gold. It exhibits an incredible psychic ability. Early depictions of homunclay have been found in ancient texts describing them as protectors of holy places. When in complete darkness, or when it maintains enough damage, it enters an inert state, but it's still able to use its psychic abilities. The way I imagine the gameplay might work for something like this is that if homunclay gets below a certain amount of health, it can enter its inert form, which has a huge defense boost, and maybe it can be given an item to enter it the whole time or something, so you're either gambling with your health or trading off an item slot for the balance of it all. And that is my Pokemon version of SCP-30. Let me know what you think. I really like this concept, and I could see coming back to this. It's super fun. I don't know if my Fakemon skills are super developed enough for this, but it's at the very least a very fun concept, and I have fun doing it, so I could learn. Give this video a like if you liked it, and let me know what other challenges you might like to see me do in the future. At that though, I'll leave this here, and I will see y'all next time.